Hey, so back to the grindstone again. I was doing some thinking about the objective drafting that I did yesterday, and I'm realizing that I kind of made a boo-boo. Changing this color here doesn't do anything. Yeah, it doesn't help. It really serves no purpose to change that color there. It just looks confusing and makes it harder to read. Um, and even changing this just kind of makes it hard to read. So let me go through and revisit those two colors. So not that untitled text. That is okay. That's the number. Do we have some of these without victory point numbers? That one. So let's take a look at what it's showing the thing here. VP. Okay, yep. I've got some VB that are not showing as having a VP value. Um, sure enough. 111. All right. Port the Google Sheet, pull fresh data. And then refresh this over here, and now it should say 1. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Deck type. Just make that white. And the title, let's just make that white as well for everything. Just status phase, that's fine. Public, that's fine. I think that like that's a combat phase secret. Like status phase, that's important for when it scores, and whether it's a secret or not, I'll buy those for, you know, secret. Maybe I don't want red. Maybe secret should be purple because Imperial secrets. Eh, it's fine for now. Okay. Um, Time to do some not objectives. agendas. And I'm not sure what else I need to put in here. Card type, agenda, yeah. Okay. We'll start with these. Let's draft agendas. Oh. Not poker deck. Mini deck. Okay. Uh, um, let's see. Um, hey, Civi. I don't know, but I do know that they did a stealth update on the cards PDF today, and it's a much larger file, I think, with higher resolution images in it. So so it's worth grabbing the PDF again and seeing what you can do with it, I think. Yeah, yeah. And we want to do open with GIMP. Ooh, I don't like that. Um, that will be better. Open with GIMP. All right. And I need to hmm, maybe, but at the same time, I'm not going to call you crazy. It's entirely possible that it's not really as great as we'd like to think it is. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I When it's powerful, but I can see it being kind of a dud at times too. No argument there. Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. But it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can see it going both ways. So I'm not afraid to suspend judgment till I've seen it in action a few times. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, like I said, it's just I've seen things that I thought were going to play out one way play out differently many, many times. All right. What am I building here first? We're gonna call this. We're gonna call these agenda cards. We're gonna do the agenda cards because those are the ones that I have in my data set. Image, image, images. Create a folder. We're gonna call these. Add an image. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And then I also need to add that one. And we're gonna do these are agendas. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And no tint on these. Position and size. Design. We want to go to crop left. Top, we want to go to crop. Top. Oh, trim, not crop. Yeah, crop top is something different. Trim. Trim. There we go. Um, Trim height. There we go. There we go. Close enough. Whee! And we need to sure, that works. Add some text. The text is row name. Yeah. Name. Text formatting. This is a title. Center it. Vertical alignment to the middle. Fit to size is true. Show the outline and height is probably more like 50 pixels. No, we can go a little more than that. 75 pixels. And maybe even 100 pixels. Yeah, there we go. We'll go 100 pixels. $175. Top is down at like 200. Height maybe 100. Width will be more like 250. That's a start. And show the outline. Ooh, height is definitely too much. 50, no. 30? Top should be more like 190. Fit to size should be true. 30 is too much. Let's go back down to 50. More like 45. Okay. And it needs to move in just a little bit more. 180. And not be quite as wide. So maybe 240. Close enough. Yeah, that'll work. Text there is type, I think. Sure. Center it, vertical alignment, middle it. There we go. Render this layer. Row dot type equals law. And effects. Let's put a color overlay on that for game dot pairs dot color yellow. Oh, yeah, silly me. And then we will duplicate that to agenda. And these will make this directive. And we will set that color to orange. Oh, well, that's fine. No? What did I just change? Pretty much. Ah, wait. Sometimes. But I get this, but because I'm streaming this to Twitch, I'm not doing music right now. Otherwise, I would be, yeah. Mm-hmm. I should have warned you. You're getting streamed right now. If row type equals directive, but it doesn't. It says law. So let's take a look here. Type is law, so it is not equal directive. All right, refresh. Type is law, so it should not be rendering as true. Go look at something else. Make sure I'm doing this right. I still don't know why it's doing this. objectives. I was doing it with objectives. What am I dinking around with this for? You know it. Public secret. If rho dot equals ha ha ha. Yes, I'm a dummy. Got it. I figured it out. Silly me. Silly me. For want of quotation marks. Now that is false. Directive. That is indeed a law. If rho dot ha 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 ha. Dumb. Got it. Now this should work fine. Yep. Directive, 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 law, law, directive. Ta-da. Okay. Twitch.tv/Philroy. PHILROI. Yep. I suppose I can go look and see if there's anybody watching it. Probably nothing but bots. Yeah, you. Oh, Kakatopos is watching. No, it's because I don't have you in the stream. So everybody who's listening to the stream is getting a one-sided conversation. No, I, uh, I can add you though. Yeah, welcome to the audio capture.
What does that mean?
Now they can hear you.
Oh no! I
Every,
kind of wanted them to just think you were insane and talking to yourself.
nah, they already know that.
Fair enough.
Holy planet of it.
Now they can hear me talk to myself while you talk to yourself, as we both design entirely different things.
Yeah. For and against. Move that down 250 there. And the height is 425. No, 475. No, 500. There we go, 500. And color for these is effects, color overlay, enabled. It's there. I'm most worried about getting everything in. I'll make it pretty later. Because that's all in the formatting in the sheet, Google Sheet. But Holy Planet, the VIX, law, directive.
You keeping that one in there?
I just importing all of the raw ones from the base game. I'm going to go through and edit which ones are in.
Yeah. That one was removed in the expansion.
Yeah.
Oh well. Still a fun one. As far as electric planets go.
Yeah. I just pulled in a raw data sheet of all the agendas just as a restarting point, knowing that it would force me to go through everything again.
Makes sense. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just force your own hand.
Force me to go through everything, pay attention to details.
Yeah.
That's why one of the reasons why I'm rebuilding everything in this software is because it's forcing me to go through everything and rebuild everything. Because there's a lot of, yeah, it's close enough. I can fudge it. This will work for prototyping and playtesting kind of stuff that I did or allowed to be the way that it was when it really wasn't quite right.
Hmm.
Because let's be honest, there's a lot of stuff that once you know what it is, you kind of ignore what it actually is.
All right.
Yeah, well, but that's still confusing for new people, so I gotta go back and rebuild everything. And this will do that. Like I sat down with my notebook today at work when I was on lunch, and I pulled up the PDFs for all the game, all the manuals, and wrote down a list of all the components so that I can use it as a checklist for, hey, what are the components that I'm doing? What are the components that I'm adding? And get myself a master components list together so that way I can use it as a checklist to check things off as I get things done.
Right.
And some things I'm just going to ignore. Killara's faction for now is going to get ignored because I,
It would take too much of a readjustment, I guess, probably.
let's just say I've got more than enough to keep myself busy working on other things in the meantime.
So do you call it Calaris or Calares?
I'm more likely to probably pronounce it Kalaris.
Huh. Because I've been saying Calares, but I also had not ever heard anyone else pronounce it out loud, so.
I could see both pronunciations taking hold or being legit.
I've heard it both ways.
Now,
That was a reference, but hey.
hey, I'm not hating. So let me grab my notebook and pull it up, and I should type up my component list in a spreadsheet.
Spreadsheets. The things that order our world.
Yeah, well, as long as you're not making decisions by them. I mean, leadership by
On
spreadsheet is one of my banes of existence.
Yeah. That being said, there are some things where I'm like, man, I really wish you would take an objective approach to leadership.
Yeah, but
I guess that's kind of like the plans never survive contact with the enemy sort of thing. It's like
a good,
spreadsheets are the best laid plans.
yeah. Well, and when you have decisions that are being made purely to make somebody's spreadsheet clean and neat as opposed to
Uh,
actual practical reasons.
that makes sense.
Another useful axiom that I've heard is manage things and lead people.
That's a good one.
People are led, things are managed. And you have so many managers that try to manage people, and people are not things.
I kind of would push back on that as I've actually taught taught kids. So
I,
so there is a certain amount of management. Of course, that's not so much managing the kids, I guess, as much as threat management.
but again, now it's I see. I would beg to differ because I'm an old Army NCO, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I could definitely see how spreadsheets would come into that as a problem.
yeah, and it's somewhere somebody in a room somewhere is making a decision to make a spreadsheet, change a number in a cell, and they're putting out a directive to do that, and it has absolutely nothing to do with, and they have no concept of how that translates into what people have to do on the ground.
You said NCO, that's non-commissioned officer, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, a buddy of mine just got out of the Navy and he's got
yeah.
horror stories.
I would be what he would call a Navy chief.
Yeah.
And senior NCO. And but yeah, there's people are not things, and when you treat people like things and like things in a box that are interchangeable, things in boxes,
I can see how that could be a problem.
morale tanks, things turn into problem. Retention is a three-sided pyramid. You want to keep your people, they either need to enjoy the work, enjoy the people they work with, or enjoy the compensation for doing the work that they are doing. And leadership by spreadsheet tends to ignore all three of those.
Yeah. The only reason I am still employed at my current employer is because I can't find anywhere else that's going to pay this much money to do what I do.
Right. But it's you're willing to stay for the compensation, but if you enjoyed the people you work with, you'd be more willing to stay. If you enjoyed the work you were doing, you'd be more willing to stay. And generally speaking,
Unfortunately, go ahead.
if you can get two of the three, you really need two of the three to keep people around with any kind of
Yeah.
serious retention. The worse the three
Unfortunately,
are, yeah,
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't actually interact with anyone else that I work with. We're all kind of scattered to the four winds. We all work remotely.
yeah.
So that's harder to do. Oh well.
But let
I'm sure
me,
people
yeah,
didn't come to hear me gripe.
yeah, but it's a multi-sided, and maybe not dealing with people keeps it from being a negative.
Well, I'm an extrovert, so no.
Never mind then.
I'd rather deal with people that annoyed me than deal with no one at all.
Fair enough.
But that's just me and other extroverts, I'm sure. But
Yeah, then there's the old axiom that fastest way to improve morale is fire all the unhappy people.
I think I heard a stat about Soviet Union and hunger about that once.
Yeah. We don't have any starving people. We shot them all.
No one I heard one. It was I have enemies like North Korea has COVID victims one at a time.
Yeah. All right. Let's go into here and blank spreadsheet. I am playing around with the designs in my head for things like the command sheets and things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about designing them and like the faction sheets to fit on large hexes so that you can arrange them as hexes next to each other to build like your own little,
There's a cool idea.
you know.
So like the character sheets could be built of hexes so you could arrange them as you needed, maybe?
Yeah, I haven't made it super far yet, but yeah.
Now, here's an idea. Have you played the I mean, if you're gonna make custom hexes for the different pools,
Mm,
have you played the oh, what's that called? Game of Thrones board game.
nope.
So it's designed by I think it was designed by the same guy who did Twilight Imperium, actually. Hang on. Peterson, that guy. The original,
Yeah.
not
CTP.
Danes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was designed by Christian T. Peterson. So in that game, there's a limit to how many units you can have in armies. And an army is any location where you've got more than one unit.
Yeah.
So you can have one unit there for free. Um, but it doesn't just directly scale. There's a limit, there's a track that you move up as you gain more territory. And let's see if I can find a picture of it. As you go up, you can field more armies, and those armies can be larger.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of thought that could be an interesting idea because each faction could have different potential for that sort of thing. So, for instance, a fighter focused faction might have, high, uh, many mini fleets, but a low limit, or something like that, or vice versa, whatever. An interesting design space. That's just like, oh yeah, it's the barony. They get more fleets that are larger than
Right.
anyone else, or something like that.
Yeah. I was
That
chat
might be a level of complexity too far, but you were saying I interrupted you. Sorry.
um I was chatting with somebody the other day and I tossed around the idea of potentially um modifying plastic limits for the different factions slightly,
I'm pretty sure that was me, actually.
probably. And so it's not off the table in any way, shape, or form. It's in the back of my brain, but that's a a question that
That's a
I need to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit different than what I was thinking. Not so much a plastic limitation as much as just dynamic fleet makeup.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop something. Where's your workshop? Where's your workshop, or is it one of the Noble Edition things?
I just using the Noble Edition. You could drop it in the Noble Edition general chat or something. Or
All
even
right.
here in the workshop workbench chat if you're just doing it as a drop.
Yeah, there you go. It's in Noble Edition chat. That's a cut image from the Game of Thrones board. So as it goes up, you can field more armies of larger sizes. Interesting concept, but I wasn't really interested in implementing it because I wasn't looking at changing as many fundamental aspects of the game as you are. But I mean, if you're there, it's an interesting idea.
It sounds like it's a more complex fleet pool off just off the top of my head. Instead of having a blanket 4, you would do like a 4, a 3, and a 2 or something, you know.
Basically, it would be more complicated, but then you could always use that complication to customize it to individual factions.
Yeah.
Um, if I were to remake Twilight Imperium from the ground up, it would almost be as asymmetrical as Root, and it would probably be almost unplayable.
Yeah. Command sheet,
I love the
strategy cards,
asymmetry.
mech units.
What's that? What'd you say?
Um, component type source. That's what I need. Faction type sheets. I'll just call it faction sheets and I'll just duplicate the word sheets in different things because it's tiles. Um, Smart fill. We think we can fill these formulas using a thing. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Close it got cards.
How smart are you?
Um, paste values only. I'm still going to go through here. Sheet. Sheet. Tile. Unit. Card. Die. That's a tile, technically, the victory track. Those are card, 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 token, card, card, token, 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 token.
I didn't realize till today. The Universities of Jolnar is a really long name as far
Yeah.
as character count is concerned.
Oh yeah, it's
It doesn't fit on many cards at the same font that I've been using.
plastic units. I'm taking that out.
Yeah, no plastic units all game.
Well, but it's
I was just messing with you.
miniature. I spelled that right? I think I didn't.
I never spell that word right.
I'm just gonna call it a mini. So they get mech units. Other unit types that we've got are we'll just Infantry flags. That's a mini. Fighter. Mini. That's a mini. Destroyers. Let's call fighters. That's a mini. Cruiser. That's a mini. Carrier. That's a mini. Mech, infantry, fighters, destroyers, cruisers, carriers, dreadnought. That's a mini. Flagship. That's a mini. War Sun. That's a mini. Eight command sheets. System tiles. I'm not even sure what that total count is. Up to 51 and 40 is 91 systems and hyperlane tiles. I forget how many of them are hyperlane tiles. Somebody else would probably. That's all right. You get 2 War Suns, 1 flagship, 5 dreadnoughts. Four carriers. I don't remember how many of each unit type you get. I am embarrassed. I know it's 12 infantry and 12 fighters. It's 4 destroyers, 4 cruisers, and 4 carriers, and 4 dreadnoughts, I think. 4 each.
What?
How many of each unit type?
Oh no, there's like 6 dreads, 4 carriers, 8 cruisers. It's a lot more varied than that.
Yeah. I've got a set of units here. I just have to pick it up and actually look.
It's either 5 or 6 dreads, because I know you have to have 5 dreads for the L1 unlock on the commander.
8 destroyers.
Yeah. 8 cruisers.
8 cruisers. Five dreads.
5. I was wrong.
3 space dock.
How many PDS? 6?
4. No, 1, 2, 3,
That's
4,
got to be
5,
more than
6.
4, yeah? Okay.
6.
I was like, 4? Good grief. Joel Nar starts with 2 of half their PDS on the board?
No, I'm just
Only a third.
PDS. Mini. And I get to add some of the POK. Faction sheets, command sheets, plastic units, mech units, planet cards, exploration cards. Those are a card. Relic. Those are cards. card. Action card. I got that in there yet? Yeah. Action, agenda, objectives, promissory notes are in there. Leader cards are in there. Nope. Mechs. Legendary planets. Tech cards, I'm sure, in there. Yep. Mirage, token. Destroyed planet, token. Attachments. Ion Storm is a token. Dimensional Tears, it's a token. Gamma. Token. All Sleeper. Token. Frontier. Token. Control tokens. Command tokens. Trade goods. And fighter and infantry tokens. Okay. Great ship is a mini freighter. Is a mini smuggler. Is a mini a yacht. Is a mini colored trade goods. Imperial trade goods. Cubes. Pretty much everything above this is coming from TI4.
What's everything below it coming from?
Except the cards. The cards are pretty much all coming from. I'm rebuilding them all in Component Studio. And sheets, command sheets, faction sheets, leader sheets. Those are coming from Component Studio, Component Studio, System Tiles, Victory Point Track. I'm tempted to rebuild that one because I think I'm going to need a longer one. We'll stick with the
That's the spirit.
TI4 one for now. Attachments, command tokens, control tokens, all the rest of that don't need to change. Okay. It's 4 max per player, right? No? Yes? Yep. 4 max. Eight. So number there, command tokens, it's 16 per player. Control tokens, I forget how many control tokens it gives you per player.
16.
Six control tokens for planets?
I'm pretty sure.
Some number. AB token is 1, Custodian's token is 1, Destroyed Planet is 1, Dimensional Tear gives you 4. Some number. Fighter tokens, some number. Frontier tokens. Gotta write that down.
Yeah, that was actually a problem I ran into with my corporations thing originally. I wanted players to mark what shares they controlled with control tokens, and it turned out that like sapped the entire pool of physical control tokens, and I wanted to make a physical version of the game. So
Yeah, best you could.
unless I wanted to print more of every faction's control tokens, then I just ended up making tokens for the corporations.
Or using them with colored dice for each player or something where you're setting the values on the dice. I'm sorry.
No, you.
Frontier tokens. I know it's here. I just saw it. 20. Gamma wormhole. 4 infantry tokens. Lots. Ion Storm 1, Mirage token 1, Nalo 0 token 1, Necro tokens 2, Speaker token 1, Trade Good tokens. I'm just calling this lots.
Lots. The very metric.
All Sleeper tokens is 5, Great Ship is 1, Freighter is 4, Smugglers.
Smugglers. That's one of your things, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that could be whatever you want.
Did I do 2 or 4 for that? I can pull it up right here, I think. 2. Yeah. Some of these things I'm going to mark as TBD
Good choice.
because,
Sometimes it's like you could spend a whole lot of time in the design process space and actually building the stuff just to change it. And it's like, well,
yeah, this I know is already in flux, so I'm just like, yeah, and this is just a list to start with, so I don't need to, you know. I don't
yeah.
really need to get too detailed here.
I was actually this thing I'm working on now. That's
Control
the
tokens, 119, which seems like an odd number, and
it literally is.
289.
But there's an odd number of factions too. So if they have an odd number,
Plus 408, which would be like, why am I doing math? I'm in a spreadsheet. 51 control tokens per. Oh, no,
what?
no, 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 no. 24.
Okay, is it that high?
Yeah, for base plus POK is 24 factions. That's all I've added together so far. So that's 17 control tokens per player.
Oh, I thought you were saying there was 24 control tokens per player, and I was like, I don't remember it being that high.
Yeah, it's 17 control tokens per
17,
player. Why 17?
literally and figuratively odd.
One for the score track and
Ah,
16 for the board.
bored.
Yeah,
Though technically, the control tokens are not a rules hard limit,
yeah.
unlike infantry and every other plastic. But specifically, infantry is significant.
Faction reference cards. Alliance. Card. More promissory notes, more action cards, more relics, and alliance reference card. There we go. It's 10:45 in Australia, so Kakatopus is probably listening to us at work. Or
Yeah, I was talking to him in the DMs earlier, and he was talking about how he was going to be at work.
yeah, got his headphones in, listening to us ramble on.
Hey, Quack. Sultry sound of Phil's voice.
Ooh.
Is he Australia or was he a Kiwi? I thought he said he was a Kiwi. Or did he say he was an Aussie?
Somewhere down in that land of
Oz. Nah. He's an Aussie.
yeah.
I don't know why I thought he said Kiwi.
I don't know. Cool guy is American, but he's expat living in Australia, working on stuff or something.
Huh.
He's been there many years, living and working, but he's originally from the U.S.
Expat. Can you not have a dual citizen? Australia, United States?
You can. I say expat, but just I don't necessarily mean true expat.
I'm not exactly sure what the definition of expat is, so you might be able to be both.
Someone who is, I'm just using it to mean someone who is.
Right. I got your meaning. I was just kind of curious if you
Mm,
could technically be an expatriate while still being a citizen of the country of origin.
yeah.
I don't know the technical definition.
Yeah. First definition here is a person who lives outside their native country.
Well, what do you know? So, immigrant? It's just a fancy word for immigrant?
Yes and no. An expatriate is just someone who lives outside of their native country. An immigrant is someone who comes to live permanently in another country
So it's like temporary in theory.
or long term, but not has no intention of pursuing citizenship.
Ha! Interesting. You learn something every day.
There are lots of American veterans living overseas getting veterans benefits because it's, a decent enough, disability payments and stuff, but they live overseas because the cost of living is significantly lower. So,
Depends on which part of overseas you're talking about.
yeah. But there are some countries that have significant
American expat populations.
yes.
I can imagine that.
Philippines, some parts of Southeast Asia, some other places,
Well,
South
aren't the
America.
Philippines? This may be showing my ignorance, but aren't the Philippines American territory?
No, they're somewhat of a protectorate, but they are an independent country. They just have a long-standing American presence after World War II.
Yeah. Well, they had it leading up to World War II as well.
Yeah,
Old MacArthur.
especially after World War II. But yeah,
Uh, I'll be right back.
Whee! Okay, well. Okay. Well, I have accomplished my goals for the day. So the question is, what do I want to work on next? Anything else? I think I will pause. Actually, hmm, yeah. Well, that makes it through the third thing I need to do, I suppose. Uh, hmm. What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, a design roadmap, a course of action,
Strategy?
I have no idea. I'll just go with a roadmap. My brain's not working.
Multi-step approach.
I just need to have a roadmap.
You know, there's a word for that where you
What?
can't remember the word you're trying to think of, but I don't
Yeah,
remember what that word is.
yeah. Basic drafts. refine the drafts.
I'll be back.
And let's see, we're into May, so May, June, July. There we go. I'm gonna call that good. And I think I'm gonna end for tonight here, and come back with you tomorrow night to continue work.